Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles at Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Now, this is Genesis chapter 38, titled Judah and Tamar, however you want to say it. Genesis 38:1. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren, and turned in to a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hira or whatever, Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shaul. And he took her and went in unto her. So he just took the woman and he had sex with her. And she conceived, went in unto her, meaning they had sex, okay? And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bare a son, and called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah, and he was at Kezib, where she bare him. And this was his friend, by the way. He was chilling with a guy. A Dulamite was his friend. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. Now it doesn't say what he did. He was just wicked. He was a wicked ass nigga. That's what he was. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her, for this is in the law. By the way, this is in the law, which is mentioned in Deuteronomy chapter 25 and 5. 25 and 5, right? It says, if brethren dwell together, and if one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. The duty of the husband's brother is to have sex and have children. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, and his name be not put out of Israel. Okay. So basically, if you need to have a child so your name will not be put out of Israel. if you die and have no man child, and it's supposed to be a man, because in Numbers chapter 17 it is explained also, if I'm correct, if it's Numbers chapter 17. Let me look quick, man, before I say some. Numbers Numbers what? Oh, I think it's Numbers 27, not 17. Let me just check real quick. If it's 27. Yes, it is. Numbers chapter 27, verse 1 until verse, you can just read, until verse 11. So, yeah, that's it. Numbers 27, that's mentioned there. So going back to over here, so it says, and Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, meaning have sex with her, and raise up seed to thy brother, meaning make her pregnant, right? And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground. lest that he should give seed to his brother. So he was being wicked. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. So he got put to death. You should have nutted in there, not wasted on the floor, because he was basically being spiteful against his brother. He didn't want to raise up a son to his brother's name, which would be a righteous thing. I wouldn't have any problem with that. I mean, if you love your brother and he's dead, you just bring up a son and name him your brother. Name him in the name of your brother. You have the same father, so it is the same seed of your father. Anyway, going on. Verse 11. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah, my son, the youngest one, be grown. For he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. So both of them died. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. Huh? Yeah. The daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted, and went up unto his sheep shearers in Timnath, he and his friend Hera, the Adulamite. That was the one that was over here. And it says, okay, sure, right? So the girl she already had let me read it again. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, right? And Shua, she already had a wife then, a child then, a daughter then. The daughter of Shua's wife died. And Judah was comforted. Oh, I already read that, Slaka. So it says, verse 13, and it was told Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garment off of her, because you had type of garments back in those days. You had the garment that would make you a whore, a hooker, a prostitute. Then you had the garment that would make you a virgin, and then you had the garment that would make you a widow. So it says, and she put because nowadays, if you see a woman wearing like this, if you see a woman wearing this, oh shit, I spelled it wrong. Skank clothing, right? If you see her wearing shit like this, you know she ain't shit. She's pregnant and she wearing this shit. Come on, man. You know that's a skank. If you see a female wearing this or this, and she just walking in the neighborhood and shit, you know what kind of female this is, okay? But if you have a woman, um, but if you have a woman, oh, this is not good either. Let me type in respectful. This. Now, if you have a woman dressing like this, I'm not saying that they're good, 'cause fuck these Ishmaelites too, but I'm just saying, use an example. If you have a woman dressed like this or this, it's much more appealing. You don't see well, I see a fucking bitch anyway, but you know what I mean. And this is straight up like beasts, cave beasts. These women are fucking shit. They're shit. This is how the women are supposed to dress, and this is just a beast loose, just a cave monkey, just a fucking cave beast on the loose, always trying to be naked, trying to show as much skin so whatsoever, and when they get raped, they blame it on you. Anyway, let me just go on before I just lose my fucking mind. Now it says Genesis 38 and 14. And she put her widow's garment off from her and covered her with a veil. So she put a veil on her face and wrapped herself and sat in an open place which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot. So when he saw her without of her widow's garment, he thought, hey, it's just a hooker. Okay, that's a harlot, a prostitute, because she had covered her face. Just because she had covered her face, that's why he thought she was a harlot, right? And it says, verse 16, and he turned unto her by the way and said, go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee, meaning let me have sex with you. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, what wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? Meaning, if you got some money, what you gonna give me, honey? You know how them hoes be. What you got for me, baby? Some shit like that. Back in the days, it was gold, silver, cattle. Anyway, going on. And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock, meaning a goat, a baby goat. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? So will you give me something like how you call it? Not a bond. Hey, let me just look. I know what it is, but I don't know how to explain it. So I'm gonna just put it here and let the dictionary explain it. A solemn binding promise to do, give, or refrain from doing something. A pledge. Basically, I just give you my car keys, right? And tell you to wait right here while I go get something more of value, which you actually wanted. This is a stupid example. I'll give you this. I'll give you my key for insurance that I will come back and bring. Let me see. Whatever, man. And bring you, something of value that you wanted, man. Whatever. You get the picture. I actually want to finish it and give you, let me see, a shoe. A shoe. Like I got a Nike at home or whatever, right? And I just give you that as a pledge. But anyway. And he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet, meaning your signet. It's here, so. A seal, especially one used officially to mark documents. Like back in the days, they used to have seals, segments where they use what you call that thing again? Candlelight fat and a red candlelight. Yeah, this thing, wax. Oh, it's wax. Okay, this. They used to use this for letters and stuff like that. I learned this at school. Anyway, thy signet and thy bracelets and thy staff that is in thine hand. And he gave it her and came in unto her. So he busted, he went up in her. He busted that nut up in her too. And she conceived. Like back in the days, prostitutes, yo, you didn't have no STDs. It didn't exist. So you could just raw dog gorilla every woman that you see on the planet. You could just raw dog them all. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't scared like, I'm going to catch AIDS. I'm going to catch some STDs. Nah, man. So he busted that nut and she just conceived. She got pregnant, right? And she arose and went away and laid by her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood. So she changed into normal clothes again. She went out of the hooker clothing, the prostitute clothing. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. So she was gone, man. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place, because she wasn't a regular hooker. She was his daughter-in-law. She just wanted that. She just wanted to get pregnant. She was real horny. You know, she tasted of the rod of Jacob, of a Jacob descendant. So she wanted more. That's why she basically spun a web, and he just went in her. Verse 23. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be ashamed. Behold, I send this kid, and thou hast not found her. So he be like, oh, okay, let her hold that, because I don't want to be a thief, because I told her I'm going to give you a kid, which is a goat. Verse 24. And it came to pass about 3 months later that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, or Tamar, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, had played the harlot. And also, behold, the harlot means hooker. And also, but actually, they meant it as she committed adultery. And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burned. So she was gonna get that. She was gonna get the cracking. You know how fire cracks stuff. She would be cracking, man. You know, verse 25. But when she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man who these are, am I with child? And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these? The signet, and bracelets, and staff. And Judah acknowledged them, and said, she had been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. And he knew her again no more, meaning he never had sex with her again. And it came to pass in the time of her travail, when she was about to give birth, that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out, and she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. Now the word Pharez means breach. Basically violently, actually, also, because I read it. It has to do with violent, because he breached upon him. Let me get that. 29. Pharez, right? Pharez. It says here, interrupt, invasion, violence. It says desperation of enemies, slaughter, of a place, and B. So this is A, answer A. This is B. A desperation of water, diffusing. This is 3. This is 2, by the way, and this is 1. And this is 3. An eruption, invasion, violence. Basically, he violently broke out of it, so that's why he was called Pharez. And not that nigga Pharrell who's singing happy like a faggot. Not that nigga, but the other brother. Anyway, and afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zara. Forgot what that means, but let me check it again. Rising, as rising up. No, this has nothing to do with it. Anyway, a rising of light. So yeah, he's basically a rising. But yeah, that was it. That was it. The first, the twins of So Judah's sons were Shelah, Pharez, and Sarah. He also had Er and Onan, but they died because they was both wicked. And Shelah was the is now the oldest, but those two little boys are actually Shelah's little brothers. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.